Hey, welcome back. We've got Senator John Kerry. He's going to be going to the Senate floor today, making a dramatic speech on Iraq. A lot of things happening in Iraq. Senator, how do we move forward? If you can get enough Republicans working with you, how do we move forward? How quickly can we get our troops out of Iraq? These guys that have been serving, my God, 12, 13 months, coming up, the rotations have been just absolutely deadly for morale of our services.
Well, there's no question about it. It's had a profound negative impact on recruitment. It's had on retention, and it's been very, very tough on our service people. But you say, how do we go forward? Let me emphasize, we can go forward by having an honest debate about what the best policy is, not a phony debate. And when I say phony debate, all this talk about precipitous withdrawal, there is nothing precipitous in what we have proposed. A year from now, number one, is not precipitous. Number two, it doesn't even require, which some people get angry about, the withdrawal of all troops, because it leaves those troops necessary to complete the training, to chase al-Qaeda, and to protect American facilities and forces. So it contemplates some kind of presence there in order to prevent chaos, in order to protect the regional interests. The important thing that we need to do is develop the standing conference, if you will, of all of the parties in the region that is going to help develop what that security arrangement for the region ought to look like. So it's not just the United States. It shouldn't be a United States footprint there. No. And I think the minute you begin to develop a broader base of understanding of what those interests are and of how everyone is taking a stake in it, then you begin to diffuse what is now recruiting terrorists and isolating the United States. So the absence of the diplomatic effort, I think, is critical. I think Senator Lugar understands this. I think Senator Warner understands it. Others do. And if we can come together around a policy that really acts in the interests of our country, we could restore that kind of bipartisanship in foreign policy that really works best for the nation and for the things that we care about.
And my God, every day, while these debates are not being had, because you talk about the phony debate that's been had for so long, there are 18, 19, 20-year-old kids, young men, young women, my boy's age, who are dying in Iraq. And, a year ago, Senator, I started hearing Republicans saying, we're getting out of Iraq. This isn't working. But they were saying it off the record. I know you were hearing it in the cloakroom. They realized that the gig was up. But it reminded me of the speech that you gave in '71 that conservatives like myself were very critical of. But at the end of that speech, you said some words that just keep coming back to me, because it's exactly what's going on right now. Politicians in Washington know we are getting out of Iraq, and it's going to be an ugly ending, and yet they're afraid to step forward. And while they are sitting on their hands, young troops are dying. Can you tell us again, what was the end of that speech in '71 that applied in 1971 that also applies now in 2007?
Well, the question that I asked in the speech was how do you ask a man to be the last to die for a mistake? How do you ask a man to be the last man to die for a mistake? And I think it is, unfortunately, now relevant again, and it's something that one hoped would never be asked again. And it's very, very disturbing to me that what you just said is very true, that there are colleagues who for a year now have been saying this policy's got to change, this is wrong, but they don't vote that way. They say it privately. They may even express it to the administration, but meanwhile some young soldier loses legs, arms, life, and they pay the highest price of all for the unwillingness of people to come to grips with the reality here. I think that that's unconscionable, obviously, and we have to do something about it, and that's what this debate is about right now. But the administration should not. I personally believe the administration probably plans to try to announce in September that they're going to try to bring some troops home, and things have changed on the ground, and there's sort of a scheme in the making here. And the problem is that those lives shouldn't wait for that to play play out on that kind of a timetable.
3 months. I mean, we're asked to wait until September, a couple more months, and there will be fathers and mothers who will lose their sons and daughters. There will be brothers and sisters who will lose siblings. There will be young children who will never see their fathers or mothers again. And you're exactly right. And my Republican friends get angry when I talk like this, but when I hear Republicans for a year saying, we've lost this war, we've just got to figure out a political retreat, I mean, it makes me mad as hell. And
well,
you don't know that's going on.
You don't sacrifice American soldiers' lives for pride or for politics,
right.
And that's the bottom line. And I think we have an opportunity to take that position in the Senate now, and I hope we'll find the responsible center.
All right, Senator John Kerry, you got to finish writing that speech, I know.
Thanks.
I greatly appreciate you being here.
Good to be with you, Joe.
I hope you come back soon.
Take care.
All right.